this is what first you can observe. Second, Twitter and other social media are used mostly in cities. So you can imagine here we have Belgrade, here is Zagreb, here is Ljubljana, here is Rijeka. Next, of course, where there is not so much population density, social networks are used much less than in other areas. Then you can also observe that people frequently tweet from buses over there. I hope they don't tweet while they're driving. So this is the road from Zagreb to Rijeka. And you can see that there's a serious tweet on these roads, and this is the standard phenomenon that you see. You can easily map the most frequent roads as the other frequent road, very frequently used road, because people just tweet, use it while taking the ride, let's hope so. Okay, I'll come to some specific parts of this map later when I come to the other tool, Tweet Geo. Okay, so TweetCat currently is in the works, so I'm actually currently working on, there's a version 0.1, which I wrote in 2014, and it's still available from GitHub, as you could guess. It doesn't, the biggest drawback of this tool is that it encodes just specific attributes that I consider to be relevant at that point. This is the text of the tweet, the tweet author, whether this is a reply to which tweet, when it was published, and the latitude and longitude. But there's a lot of information, additional information, that is given by the Twitter API that you can use for various reasons. For instance, one of the variables that were very useful for us for doing something I will talk about later is what client was used to publish a specific tweet. So this also encodes whether the tweet was encoded from the web browser or from an Android application or from the iPhone application or from wherever. This can also be relevant for specific research. Next, you have information like what's the background color of the user as a client. So this could be a informative feature to predict whether a user is male or female. I would assume that specific colors are more popular with men's, other with females. Next, the image of the profile. The image is also available through the API, so you can analyze that. You can combine image information with text information representing whatever you're interested in from Twitter. So there, you can look at the Twitter API, especially what I use is the Python binding, the TweetPy package. It's very good, very easy to use, and yes, there's a lot of information available about the user, about the tweet he disclosed. Okay, so this is also an option maybe tomorrow to see how to run either TweetCat or TweetGeo that I will talk next. It depends on what you're more interested in. A language technologist for South languages or Twitter. And these tools are really command line interface tools, so you're supposed to be able to run Python from the command line. So it's not as nice as what we have seen in the morning. But yeah, it gives you more options and you can collect much more data like that. Okay, and the next tool we did is, okay, so sometimes you're interested in a specific language, that's good. So we collect tweets from around the globe. Whether they are geo-encoded or not is not so important. We collect everything we can get that's published in a specific language. But sometimes you're interested in a specific area. Then we built recently another tool that we called TweetGeo. Currently I am combining these two in the new version of TweetCat, which will have two modes, the language mode and the geo mode, which makes sense, so you can look which way you want to go. And TweetGeo actually as the input requires only 4 pieces of information, and those are 4 points which define the perimeter, so a square, and collects through the other API, the streaming API, all tweets that are available through the streaming API that are geo-encoded in this area. So if you're interested in an area, TweetGeo. If you're interested in a specific language, TweetCat. Of course, so the streaming API supposedly is supposed to stream, so it's another way of dealing with data. So you're just listening for the stream. It's like a bear sitting by a creek, and the stream is going by and it's waiting for fish, and fish are the tweets. And then every time the tweet appears, your streaming listener gets this tweet. So you are just collecting whatever is published right now. Of course, the streaming API doesn't give you all the published tweets because this would be just too much. I think it's not more than 5%? Do you know the number? 10%. Around 10%. So it gives it just around randomly, I would assume, random 10% of all the data that is published to alati, which is also better than nothing, but yes, you lose 90% of the data. In case you want data that is published across the USA, you'll probably get a lot of data anyway. If you're interested in data that's published around Rijeka, you probably won't get that much information. So you'll have either to listen longer or to buy access to data. So you can get access to all the data, but then you have to buy that access, which we are not fond of. Okay, so TweetGeo just expects these 2 points actually, and then from these 2 points that are defined with latitude and longitude, you have a perimeter that it listens to. So this is the collection procedure. I can show you quickly how this looks like. So we always have a config file in which you are supposed to give the input data that the tool requires. So it's not like you have a nice graphical user interface in which you edit stuff, but you have to open Python code and edit information that's needed. So first of all, you are supposed to generate an app. So Twitter as well as Facebook, they consider apps. So once you have your app, you get this keys and secrets, and then you are allowed to access the API. And the idea is that actually people use apps for purposes of specific users and not for collecting data. But neither Twitter nor Facebook don't mind if you collect data, essentially. So once you define the app, you get these pieces of information, you encode it here, and then you define the minimum latitude, longitude, and the maximum latitude, maximum longitude. Those coordinates are roughly for the area of X Yugoslavia, but of course you can change this however, and you name it project in some way, because then the database is being generated with the same. And this is everything you have to define to start. And then in the documentation, I would expect, yes, you have defined that you're supposed to run, if you run Linux, you're supposed to run collection.py with Python. And run it as long as possible, because it listens to the stream and collects roughly 10% of the data that was collected in a specific area. Of interest, if you use Linux or Mac, whatever mixes there are, you can no-hop it. This is a nice way of putting the process in the background, so you can run as long as the server is operating. So this is how we run it. And then we can also kill it by sending the sig term. This is if you use Linux, and this is all simple. Now, with the new version of Twitter, I'm also looking to document and make simpler the control of the process on Windows machines as well. Because we are primarily using we primarily did this for other researchers in NLP so that they can collect data in a more easier fashion, but it seems to me that at least those that have basic technological or computer skills could run this. And we can look maybe tomorrow at how complicated it is to run such a thing and to start collecting data. Okay, and then you get all the data, in this case, written down in a SQLite database. An approach I don't like anymore, so now I'm changing it to be JSONs that are serialized, but this doesn't actually matter that much. The important thing is that in case of TweetGeo, the second step is the extraction step. So once you have all the data in a database, you are supposed to write what variables you are interested in, and then this process generates a type-separated file where each column is a tweet with these variables that you are interested in. One variable can, of course, be the language, the content of the tweet, the text attribute of the tweet, if you just want to get the text out. But you can also look at other things. For instance, here we look exactly at the linguistically relevant variables for this area. So one variable was whether in a tweet the Ekarian or the E-Ekarian dialect was used. So this is an old vowel in Slavic languages. In Serbian they say leto, in Croatian they say je. In Croatian they say smije, in Serbian they say sme. So there's a small difference that occurs rather frequently, and then we have methods that identify whether one or the other variant is used. And once you have such variables, extracted with the help of the second process, which is the extraction process. For instance, here we encode the ID of the tweet, the username, very funny. The latitude, longitude, the text of the tweet, the supposed language. So he claims this to be Slovene. Po inerciji uvijek kliknem na plus. This is, okay, this could maybe even work for Slovene, but this is Serbian. I'm not sure whether there's anybody speaking Slovene here enough to claim that this is, or is not Slovene. Because Slovene is actually also an Ekarian dialect. It's rather complicated around here. And there are other variables. Of course, for the first tweet, we didn't identify any. We should have identified that there is a yacht reference, but this would also be an error. So you just get step-separated values, and then you can use specific variables of interest. And this brings us to the third part of the tool, which is the visualization part of tweet geo that will be available in analysis and visualization, which is done in R. So this is exactly the stuff that we were talking in the first part that you don't want to deal with, Python and R. Yes, it's super nice if you don't have to deal with it, but many times you do have. So this part is written in R, which enables you exactly that, to get visualizations of specific variables in space. Furthermore, besides, this is actually leaflet, so there is one, this is one